In the quiet hush of a rural village, as the last embers of the evening fire fade to ash, the old women warn their grandchildren. Keep your feet off the floor at night, sleep high, or the Tokoloshe will come for you. The Tokoloshe, a name spoken in whispers, a figure both laughable and utterly terrifying. But what exactly is it? And why has this strange, twisted being endured for centuries in southern African folklore? The Tokoloshe is a creature born from ancient fears. A dwarf-like goblin, hair matted, eyes glowing like burning coals. It slips into homes while the world sleeps, bringing mischief, sickness, and death. Some say it's invisible to adults, seen only by children and the innocent. According to Zulu legend, witch doctors would summon a Tokoloshe to exact revenge or torment an enemy. Created through dark rituals, it was said to be controlled by those well versed in the old ways. This creature would crawl beneath the bed or silently climb upon a sleeping victim's chest, stealing their breath, their spirit, sometimes their life. It's no coincidence that for generations, people in these villages would raise their beds on bricks, not to avoid animals or insects, but to keep out the Tokoloshe. It was a matter of survival. You didn't question the old ways. In 1950s South Africa, small towns would occasionally report sudden, unexplained deaths in the night. The local papers didn't use the word Tokoloshe, but the people knew. Villagers spoke of seeing a shadow flit across a window, a lingering smell of sulfur, a pair of footprints, smaller than a child's, leading to nowhere. Even in urban centers today, some homes still place bricks beneath the legs of their beds. Old beliefs cling tightly to the corners of modern life, but beyond the creature itself, the Tokoloshe represents something deeper. It's a manifestation of betrayal, jealousy, and suppressed tensions within a community. Folklorists suggest that in many cases, accusations of Tokoloshe attacks masked darker human actions, domestic violence, infidelity, or revenge. In this way, myth became a way to process the unspoken, to confront terror without naming it. And yet, if the Tokoloshe embodies the darkness within our homes, what then of the creatures that roam the skies, those that control the very storms? Let's meet the Inkanyamba. Explore Zulu witch doctors. Other African myths. There are storms, and then there are tempests. Those nights when the wind howls like 1,000 voices, when the lightning seems almost purposeful. In the rolling hills of KwaZulu-Natal, the elders say these storms aren't natural. They belong to Inkanyamba. The Inkanyamba is an ancient, snake-like creature with the head of a horse and the body of a giant serpent. Said to dwell in deep, mist-covered pools and waterfalls, it rises to the skies in times of anger, its fury manifesting as devastating storms. According to Zulu and Xhosa lore, the Inkanyamba makes its home in Howick Falls, a real waterfall over 90 meters high. The local people warn travelers not to visit the falls at night, especially during summer storms. They say when the Inkanyamba ascends to the heavens, its coiling body stirs the clouds, its rage bringing hail, lightning, and destructive winds. In 1998, violent storms ripped through KwaZulu-Natal. Several homes destroyed, livestock vanished, rivers overflowed their banks. The old people whispered, Inkanyamba was displeased. Modern meteorologists explained it as a severe weather anomaly, but the villagers knew better. The legend of Inkanyamba speaks to humankind's eternal struggle to explain nature's violence. Before the advent of science, how else could people rationalize a force so immense, so sudden, and so unforgiving? It as a reminder that sometimes, even in our modern world, nature refuses to be tamed. That perhaps some ancient beings still slumber beneath the surface. But while the Inkanyamba rules the skies, there are other spirits, beautiful, alluring, and deadly, waiting in the depths below. Let's meet Mami Wata. Somewhere between dream and waking, between love and destruction, she waits, a spirit of impossible beauty and terrible danger. She is known by many names across Africa and the diaspora, but to most, she is Mami Wata. Mami Wata is one of Africa's most enduring and intriguing water spirits. A figure both feared and worshipped, she embodies the paradox of beauty and peril. A being who can bless with riches and love, or drown the unworthy in the deep. In West and Central African folklore, Mami Wata appears as a mermaid-like entity, with long flowing hair, shimmering jewelry, and skin that gleams like polished stone. She is often seen holding a comb and a mirror, symbols of vanity, seduction, and hidden truth. Fishermen claim to glimpse her just as dawn breaks, brushing her hair upon a rock. Those who offer her gifts, perfume, jewelry, or fine cloth, are promised fortune, but those who disrespect her waters vanish. In some modern African cities, Mami Wata cults still exist, blending ancient beliefs with modern faiths. They leave offerings near rivers, dance in trances, and tell of visions where she offers unimaginable wealth in exchange for loyalty. Mami Wata represents the dual nature of desire: beauty that lures, wealth that corrupts, and temptation that consumes. She is the personification of the unknown depths, not only of water, but of human longing. Even today, stories of her persist in nightclubs, on oil rigs, and along busy city riversides. A reminder that not all old gods have left us. But while Mami Wata claims the living, some places claim the dead. Let's explore the curse of the lost city of Kalahari. More about Mami Wata cults and other African water spirits. Some places fall silent when darkness descends. But in the heart of certain African villages, the night speaks. It's not the rustle of leaves, nor the call of a distant owl. It's voices, whispers, gray shapes flitting between the trees, and those who hear them know to stay indoors. The night whispers, known by many names in different regions, but always with the same unsettling theme. Entities seen at the edges of the firelight. Gray, formless figures with hollow faces, moving too quickly to be human, and speaking in voices no one dares answer. The gray ghosts are said to appear on certain nights, often when someone is near death, or when a curse has been spoken. Villagers claim to hear their murmuring conversations in unknown tongues, sometimes outside windows, sometimes in their dreams. An elder in Malawi tells of a night when a man ignored the old rules, venturing out past midnight after hearing his dead mother's voice calling him. By dawn, he was found at the edge of the village, eyes wide, hair turned white, unable to speak. The night whispers embody a universal human fear. What happens in the dark when no one is watching? They serve as warnings against arrogance, of not respecting unseen forces, and against breaking ancient taboos. In many ways, they also represent generational trauma, spirits carrying old pain from those lost to colonial violence, war, or exile. But while the gray ghosts haunt the night, some spirits dwell beneath the ground. And one of Africa's oldest myths speaks of a subterranean world that mirrors our own. It's time to descend into the hidden world beneath us. There are places on this earth where the land remembers, where ancient secrets lie buried beneath endless sands, and those who dare disturb them seldom return. In the heart of the Kalahari Desert, such a place is whispered of. A vanished city, a curse eternal. The legend of the lost city of the Kalahari is one of southern Africa as great unsolved mysteries, a tale of a vanished civilization, a ruined metropolis hidden deep within the shifting dunes, and of the men driven mad trying to find it. First recorded in 1885, explorer Guillermo Farini claimed to have seen strange stone structures and the remains of a ruined city while crossing the Kalahari Desert. Since then, countless adventures have vanished chasing the legend. Stone walls, unnatural ridges, and weathered statues buried in the desert heat. Or so the stories say. In 1932, a search party led by a South African prospector set out to find it. They never returned. Only a journal was recovered. Pages scorched by the sun, words rambling about shadowy figures at night and the feeling of being watched. The legend raises unsettling questions. Did an ancient civilization truly thrive in one of the world's most inhospitable places? If so, what happened to them? It also reflects a recurring theme in African folklore, the idea that some places are forbidden, protected by ancient forces, and that human arrogance in disturbing them comes at a price. But while some stories are written in stone, others drift in the night air, carried by whispers you can only hear after dark. Let's listen to the legends of the night whispers. We tend to think of the earth as solid beneath our feet, but in the oldest African oral traditions, it was never so. Beneath the soil, they say, lies an ancient world, a parallel realm of spirits, ancestors, and lost tribes, a place that watches us from below. Many African cultures, from the Zulu to the Dogon, speak of an underworld. Not a hell in the Western sense, but a hidden plane of existence, a vast subterranean domain where the dead dwell, where ancient beings move in darkness, and where forbidden knowledge is kept. In Xhosa legend, it's said that the earth's surface was shaped by beings from below, that caves are gateways, and certain places, sinkholes, deep ravines, serve as portals. The Dogon of Mali tell of amphibious beings called the Nomo, who came from the sky, but later retreated beneath the earth and water to escape human violence. In 1933, a group of gold miners in South Africa abandoned a shaft after claiming to hear voices calling their names in languages none could understand. The story was dismissed, but the site was never reopened. These myths suggest that what we perceive as reality is only a fraction of what exists. That entire civilizations might dwell beneath us, ancient and watching, their rules and ways forever separate from ours. It's a reflection of human humility, a reminder of our limited perception, and of the arrogance of assuming we know the full shape of the world. And sometimes, these hidden worlds don't stay hidden. Sometimes creatures emerge. Let's speak now of the nameless beast of Lake Tanganyika. In the heart of Africa, where 4 countries meet, lies one of the deepest, oldest lakes on Earth, Lake Tanganyika, a body of water so vast it holds secrets few dare uncover. For centuries, local tribes have told stories of something dwelling in its depths, a creature without a true name, a being older than memory, surfacing only on nights when the moon hangs low and red. Known to some as Kabogo, and to others simply as the Nameless One, this aquatic beast is said to be enormous, larger than a hippo, faster than a crocodile. Fishermen tell of massive shadows moving beneath their boats, of entire nets disappearing, of a single, terrible eye glimpsed just before dawn. In 1880, a missionary's journal recorded a night when several villagers vanished from the shore. Witnesses spoke of ripples too large for any known animal, and a deep, vibrating hum beneath the water. The nameless beast represents our deepest, primal fears, the unknown lurking just out of sight beyond the edge of light. It embodies the ancient human anxiety that there are still creatures in this world untouched by modern knowledge, unbound by human laws. And perhaps some should remain that way. But not all terrors take the shape of beasts. Some manifest in the mind, in dreams, in shadows. Let us journey now into one of Africa's most chilling collective myths, the silent sleepers of Sudan. In the blistering deserts of Sudan, there's a tale whispered only at night, when the air cools and the stars sharpen like blades, a tale of those who sleep and never wake. For generations, elders have spoken of the silent sleepers, men and women who, after hearing a certain voice in a dream, fall into a sleep so deep no one can wake them. They do not age, they do not decay, They lie perfectly preserved, as if waiting. These stories often begin the same way. A villager dreams of a stranger calling their name 3 times. When they wake, they feel an overwhelming urge to sleep. And when they close their eyes again, they do not return. Villagers report entire families vanishing this way, their homes left intact, their fields untouched. In 1932, the British Sudan Political Service allegedly recorded an incident near the town of Omdurman. 8 members of a household were found lying side by side, unmarked, untouched, eyes closed, breathless, but without decay. The silent sleepers raise a profound question. What if consciousness can be taken, not by death but by something older, quieter, more patient? Is sleep itself a door to another realm, a place where ancient forces still linger, choosing who remains and who is lost? It forces us to consider the thin line between life and death, between waking and dream, and how fragile that boundary might be. And as unsettling as the thought of eternal sleep may be, some myths claim there are those who chose it willingly. Now, let's speak of the forest that whispers your name. Explore, silent sleepers, further myths of eternal life. There are forests in Africa so ancient, so vast, that even the bravest refuse to enter after nightfall, not because of lions, not because of serpents, but because the trees whisper. Among the elders of Gabon and the Congo Basin, there are warnings about certain groves where the trees call you by name, not aloud, but inside your mind, and once you hear it, you'll never leave those woods the same. These are known as speaking forests. Their stories tell of trees that remember the dead, that carry the voices of those who vanished within. Hunters have claimed to hear their own names whispered in languages long forgotten. In 1967, a European explorer vanished in the Minkabi forest. His local guides later claimed they heard his voice for nights afterward, calling out to them, even though he was never found. What if places themselves could be conscious? What if the earth remembers every footstep, every lost soul, every word? The idea of sentient landscapes appears in many African oral histories. Groves that can trap a person as spirit, forests that judge the heart, and paths that only open to those chosen. It forces us to question whether our world is as inanimate as we believe, or if we walk through a living memory, ancient and watchful. And as the forest watches, so too, it said, do the stars. Now, let's gaze skyward to confront an African legend older than time itself. The Star That Fell Twice. Explore Minkibi forest history, sentient landscapes in other cultures. There's a legend whispered in the deserts of Mali, the plateaus of Ethiopia, and the ancient valleys of Tanzania, of a star that fell from the sky. Not once, but twice. And each time it fell, the world was changed. For centuries, African griots, the oral historians, spoke of a fiery object that descended from the heavens long before the age of men. But unlike any falling star or comet, this one returned. The second time, it didn't just light the skies, it spoke. Among the Dogon people of Mali, there's a tale of a star named Po Tolo, an impossibly dense, invisible star that orbits Sirius. Remarkably, the Dogon described its position, orbit, and characteristics centuries before modern astronomy confirmed the existence of Sirius B. They claimed the knowledge was passed down by beings that arrived with the star. French anthropologists Marcel Griol and Germaine Dieter-Len documented these stories in the 1930s, baffled by the Dogon's precise knowledge of stellar movements invisible to the naked eye. Was it ancient memory? Was it coincidence, or evidence of contact with something beyond? This legend forces us to reconsider humanity's relationship with the cosmos, that perhaps we are not alone, and perhaps we have never been. If a star can fall twice, perhaps the heavens themselves are not immutable. Perhaps the sky, too, is alive, watching, waiting. And if ancient peoples were visited once, will they return again? Tonight, as you drift into sleep, remember, the world you know is but a thin veil. Behind it waits a realm of ancient forests, sleeping souls, silent watchers, and stars that fall twice. Take a moment, breathe, and wonder. Good night, wanderer.